Okay. And welcome back to Part 2, Episode 3, Series 2, Whiteboard Game. I'm still Frederick.
I'm still Chris.
He's still Chris. If you've missed the first half, don't worry. It will be uploaded concurrently. You should go back and watch that one first. Listen to that before you get to this one. I mean, I suppose, it would still make sense. I suppose it's not like a film, but it would, it's... You probably should do Part 1 before Part 2. It says so in the title, Part 1, Part 2.
It would add more context.
We are talking about just music we're listening to at the moment. This is the tamest whiteboard game we might have ever done, at least as a podcast. Doesn't make it any less good, we hope. We are, I believe, on me guessing Chris's 6th.
Yeah.
Okay.
That is true.
So, you're going to need to bear with me, because I still, for some reason, even though I could just copy and paste everything...
Yeah, you have a phobia of Control-C, Control-V.
I don't know why I don't do it.
There's only one way to start.
I don't know. I just like type. It feels organic. I don't know why. He says doing everything on a laptop. So I have tried to use logic of the current musical landscape here.
Okay.
I believe...
Pardon me.
There has been a recent collaboration between artists you like.
Okay.
I believe that TV Girl has done work with George Clanton. And this sounded like the kind of sound that might be produced as a result. So I've said TV Girl, and then in very tentative brackets, and George Clanton. I said close to the outside because I believe that was uttered. 2025, psych pop, hypnagogic pop, vaporwave. Yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately for you, I haven't listened to the new TV Girl and George Clanton, but that's a connection I never really made with this.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Is it
that's
valid?
Cool. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
Nice.
This is an older song by someone called Neon Indian. The track is called Terminally Chill. It's a chill wave song.
That's fair.
I also put synth pop because I thought that made sense. 2009 was when it came out.
Okay.
Yeah, back in the day.
You and me, baby.
I'm not sure if I think I had mentioned it to you, but I'd been interested in getting more into chill wave because I'd listened to some of it and knew it was a scene, but didn't really know like where the big artists were, or sort of where to look, basically. And Neon Indian was a name that came up. I thought that could be quite interesting, so I listened to one of his albums recently, the first one, which I can't remember the name of. It's got quite a colourful cover.
Oh, let's have a look.
Something Chasms. I'll let you discover it. But this is one of the songs off it. Yeah, well, this is the thing, is he calls himself Neon Indian, but he's from Mexico.
Psychic Chasms.
Psychic Chasms, there you go, yeah. This is a track off of that. And yeah, it's very chill wavy.
Very chill.
In a sort of time where I guess chill wave wasn't really a thing, I guess. It was just sort of, people were just making music, not really knowing that chill wave was going to become a thing. Yeah, I think as an album I wasn't massively enthralled all throughout. I think just some of the songs were just sort of okay. I mean, there's some really nice ones on there. There's one called Deadbeat Summer, which samples a Todd Rundgren song.
Oh, okay, cool.
Which is really cool. You wouldn't have noticed that it's a sample, though, like when you're listening to it. Well, I didn't notice it was a sample.
Okay.
I was just sort of listening to it going, oh, this is really cool. It just sounds like a synth that Mr. Indian could have, just found and decided, oh, I really like this sound, I'm going to use it.
Good on you, Mr. Indian.
And then you look it up on who sampled and you go, oh, yeah, that is a sample. That's really interesting. But yeah, no, I mean, his stuff's fun. I guess, chill wave, it's about as explanatory as you might think, I suppose.
Yeah.
I think he's got a couple other albums. There's one that I think is quite acclaimed. I think it's called like Vegas Night something or other.
Vega, I presume that's international, but it's VEGA space INTL.
Yes.
So Vega International Night School.
Night School, yeah.
This is his most popular one.
Yeah.
It would appear.
Yeah, that's what it seemed to me. So yeah, I'm yet to get into that. I really like this track. It feels peak almost.
It's top.
It's top. You know, I mean, I think what I've gauged is lyrically in a lot of his songs, he's not expanding on massively interesting topics. Like he's not an enthralling lyricist, basically.
Okay.
His lyrics are sort of there, and his voice is nice. And I think that's all he's really trying to do anyway.
Okay.
He's not trying to be massively thought-provoking with his chill wave songs.
It's not meant to be. It's chill.
Yeah, it's just meant to be chill.
Ride the waves. Chill.
Yeah, it's quite psychedelic when you listen to it. You know, very synthy and stuff. I really like it. I suppose I don't know if an aspect of chill wave is being mixed interestingly, because it does sound slightly hypnagogic in the same way as like an Ariel Pink maybe, which is cool. But yeah, and in terms of other chill wave, I mean, on Rate Your Music, the highest rated chill wave album is Slide by Jules Clanton, which is, I mean, you guessed him, so you know it all comes full circle, really, doesn't it?
I've listened to some of these, yes.
Yeah.
Images I've listened to.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think just trying to explore chill wave, I'm still having a hard time with. Cause it feels like the more I look at it, the more people say, oh, you know, it was a big scene and it spiraled out of it. But I'm sort of looking at music sites and going, I can't really see where it is. You know, I can see certain artists, but I don't totally understand how sort of embedded in that scene they are, I guess.
I think there are certain marketing terms, which is what genres are, that I struggle time-wise with, because it doesn't feel like they're necessarily genres. It just kind of feels like they're labels that just kind of exist somewhere out there. And you see them sometimes and you go, oh, okay, that's also this apparently, okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I suppose that makes sense. But yeah, how many points was I going to give you? I'll give you...
You can be cruel.
No, you're right with psych pop and hypnagogic pop. You can have a point.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
They're very valid genre quantifiers. Your number 6. I've put an artist down I don't think I've ever guessed before.
Okay, this will be interesting.
Maybe it's an artist you've used
Shania
before.
Twain. Let's go, girls. Ding, 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 ding.
They had a certain sound, and I think we'd mentioned them last time, maybe the time before. I thought it's interesting. And I guess I'm just because it's a nice shoe-in and I don't totally know who it is, so it might be fun. I guess it was Red House Painters.
Nice, cool.
That's interesting. You're going to turn around and tell me it's Sun Kill Moon, and I'm going to be like, oh, so close.
Well.
So close. That's foreboding.
Also on the forbidden list, that's shown up in both halves. There you go.
Yeah. I just guessed it was called Spaceman. He said Spaceman.
He did.
Is another slowcore song that references space, but is not by Duster, maybe? I don't know. I put slowcore / indie rock.
Okay.
1996.
2 points.
Cheers.
2 points. I think Red House Paint is actually an amazing shout.
Thank you.
It's a really good shout. I haven't listened to any of that side of the Mark Kozelek universe. Which, as I say, maybe for some people we should not go anywhere near. But it is not them.
Okay.
This is I believe the first album from a little band called Horse Jumper of Love.
Ah, really?
This is, as I said to you during the intermission, one way I'm listening through music is by working through artists I've already listened to. I'm chugging on with some of them. I only really did this one from Horse Jumper of Love. I didn't really want to do any more. Didn't feel compelled to. It's good. I prefer Natural Part. It's probably one of my apparently, I suppose, one of my more controversial opinions, because you look at Rate Your Music, and Actual Part is, I think, noticeably the lowest rated. It's like just about gets into a 3 kind of thing. It's like 3.09 or something. And I go, why? Why? What did he say in the Flight of the Conchords song?
Why?
Yeah, and then what did he say?
Why?
Back up your...
Be constructive with your feedback.
Be constructive. Yeah, don't just give me a number. Be constructive. I like that album. This album's fine. It's good. I like it. I would listen to it again. Spaceman's the best thing on it.
Okay.
I believe. I don't know what it is, man. It's just such a vibe. I've put Horse Jumper of Love, Spaceman, 2016. Sakharok Slowcore is valid.
Yeah.
I'm giving you Slowcore.
Thank you very much.
I believe people seem to think this anyway, that the song is about like sex, but like without feeling. I think it's just like doing it just because. So I guess when you look at it in that light, the song, because it sounds quite polished, but then you think about that and you realise, oh no, it's actually quite grotty.
Oh, yeah, okay.
In the way that Horse Jumper of Love music quite often is. And what was it? I Speak With Your Teeth, is it?
Ooh.
I think it's just, there's a lot of one person doing something but with another person's stuff.
Ah, okay.
So I think it's just like using each other, basically. Yeah. Like the verses, you get this, the first verse is what portrait blurry television, I got bored so turned off your glow. Double entendre, I don't know. And second time round he goes, well, you got bored so put on my clothes or something. There's a lot of this going on, like you doing something with me, I'm doing something with you.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. I think it's well written, I suppose. It's not anything I can relate to, I promise. But I really like the song.
Cool.
This is very much in the rotation at the moment.
Nice.
And I will leave it there.
Cool. Another very Duster-sounding song that isn't Duster as well.
The influence is actually huge.
Oh, it's
huge.
crazy, honestly.
Yeah. They are your favourite sad band's favourite sad band, Duster.
Yeah. They're the MF Doom of Slacker rock. Anyways.
With much less charisma, I suppose, than MF Doom. So, I feel like I recognise the voice for your next one. I'm hoping I have. Because if I have, then lo and behold, the Whiteboard Game actually works. You do actually learn things. I thought it was everyone's favourite ginger musician. Is he ginger? I think he is. King Krule.
I don't know what you're on about.
I think he's King Krule. I think he's ginger. I can't think. Ed Sheeran, I suppose. That's quite an obvious one.
You should prefer King Krule to Ed Sheeran.
Arguably, yes. I think he said Across the Grey. 2017. Ambient rock. That's one I've just invented.
Spacey rock.
Indie rock. I also put slowcore. I didn't know where to go with the sound of this, really. Yeah.
Okay. I'll give you 2 points for that one.
Okay, thank you.
You're just out of the year.
Okay, that's a shame.
But it is King Krule.
Okay, nice.
You're very right about that. And he is very, very ginger.
Good. Yeah. I haven't said something rude. Not that it's rude. Not that it's bad to be ginger. It's not bad.
The track is called Out Getting Ribs, which is one of his more popular tracks. Well, I don't really know what it means.
Was he hungry? Was he?
I think so. He doesn't really say it in the song. I feel like... I don't know. It just feels like a very sort of like... I don't know, just like out with your mates sort of track name. It's like a...
Yeah.
It's like what you'd hear off, I don't know. What am I thinking of? Like an old like garage sort of track.
You know what? Yeah, I vibe with that.
And I think his aesthetic feels inspired by that sort of stuff. Music, not necessarily. I think, he's more sort of... I've got post-punk there, but just... I don't really know why. It just reminded me of Joy Division, weirdly.
You know what? That's not bad, yeah.
But Rate Your Music said singer-songwriter, so I put that there. As a genre...
You know when I just spoke about labels that just kind of pop up So that might be the worst one for me.
Yeah.
What you basically said is someone wrote the song and then sang the song. That's it.
Yeah, it's odd. I think there are aesthetics to that, but I think for the most part, it's because it's almost like if you have like a backing band around your stuff.
Yeah.
But to me, all of King Krule stuff sounds like it's all from him.
Okay.
2013 is when it came out.
Oh, just out.
I think it's off an album called 6 Feet Below the Moon.
I
think is the name of it. It's his debut one. I don't know if you know, King Krule used to, before he was King Krule, he was an artist called Zoo Kid.
No, I didn't know that, no.
I think he rapped.
Amazing.
Which is cool. And fascinating to see him convert into what he does now. Really interesting rock.
Born in Southwark.
Yeah, Southwark.
And lives currently in Czechia.
Czech Republic, yeah.
Amazing.
Interesting.
6 feet beneath the moon.
6 feet beneath the moon, yeah, not below. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really getting into King Krule anymore. I just sort of listen to this song.
With King Krule over.
I feel like he's got a few very popular songs, and so I've just sort of listened to them. And that's sort of the extent of it. But I did see a Glastonbury performance he did last year of this song, and he was playing with his band.
Playing with his what? Okay, yeah.
And he had his daughter on stage as well.
Oh.
Which was really nice.
Well, especially considering his recent songwriting and stuff.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Parenthood.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, she was very young. I just sort of, I think she sat on, like they put like a podium for the drums and stuff, so she just sort of sat on that and listened, which is quite cute. Don't have much more to say. It's a good track. I've always liked his guitar work, King Krule.
That's fair.
He's a good guitar writer.
Man.
And a unique voice too.
Yeah.
So you can have 2 points.
Perfect, thank you.
No worries.
I wasn't ignoring you halfway through that. I did take out my phone purely for the reason of, because I thought if I don't do it now I might forget. I needed to add Neon Indian to the Fred list.
Oh, cool.
Because whilst I have just critiqued the term chill wave, I was thinking about it and thought, I should go further with that as well.
There's definitely some artists there who are associated with it that are well acclaimed.
Of course.
It'd be interesting to at least see what they're like, because you listen to stuff like that and you think, oh, it's not really, I guess, sort of, I haven't heard a lot of that sort of stuff before. It's not, it's not widespread really. But anyways, nice to see that I'm rubbing off on you.
Pause.
You're number 7. Now, I think this was the one that I got to, and I said, this is the one which is very dangerous in terms of what I say and what I could get wrong.
Especially because you know this, I know this. We're making a bit of a compilation of Chris moments like this, if you see what I mean. Accidental moments.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, this might be one to add. Now, I initially had... Now, I don't know the culture of these musicians. I don't know their heritage. Sorry,
fair, cool.
I don't know their heritage. So this might be me being very wrong. It sounded calypso-y.
Okay,
I don't know exactly where calypso is from. Whether it's an African thing or if it's a Caribbean thing. I've no idea. I initially had Neville Staples down out of the specials.
Oh, okay, nice, cool.
And then I thought, I don't know if he's actually had any solo stuff.
Okay.
And I don't think it's going to be with either the specials or Funboy 3. So I ended up putting someone who I think has had some solo stuff. I put Ranking Roger.
Okay.
Out of the Beat. Shout out, one of the most underrated ska bands. I thought it was called Alleluia, Amen, which feels like a Godspeed sort of track title.
It does. It's either Christian rock or post-rock. There's no...
Yeah. And I said calypso. I probably should have done more with the genres because it was one where I feel like it's calypso, but don't really know. And then I put 1986.
Sure. I will give you the point for the genre.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Is that the only point?
It is, I'm afraid.
Okay, that's fine.
I have used this artist once before.
I think I know who it is, not by name.
Do you remember the name of the song? Which always brings a smile to my face.
No, I just remember the album it's off of looking amusing. That's all, basically.
Well, he looks like a very happy man on the album. And
you say he passed away recently?
I believe he did. He passed...
So I think I know who you're on about.
No, I'm lying. It wasn't recently. It was in 1994.
No, never mind.
Which...
Maybe it's not who I'm thinking of.
Apparently is when the album was released as well. So am I going to have to Wikipedia this? Because that seems strange. Unless he's done some David Bowie thing that I just don't know about. No, he did pass in 1994. That is apparently accurate. Okay, so this is a gentleman called S.E.Rogie.
Yeah, S.E.Rogie.
This is a track called African Gospel.
Cool.
Off of the album Dead Men Don't Smoke Marijuana.
Yeah.
Amazing. 1994. I put palm wine music, but when you look into it, what it says is, the folk music of the region combined with Caribbean calypso elements.
Okay.
So I think you were astute to notice calypso.
Yeah, okay, I'm glad that, that's good.
I've listened to this whole album now. I felt like I just couldn't hold back. I just wanted to do it. I very rarely have wanted, or recently I haven't wanted to listen to something so badly as this, because that smiling face, man, it was just in my brain the whole time. If someone on the album cover looks that happy, I can't not listen to their music. And let me tell you something, that is a happy album.
Cool.
It's so sunny. That is a summer album. It might be the
Sunshine Calypso.
Yes, it might be one of the happiest things I've listened to in a very long time, actually. And for that reason, also the fact that it's good. It's actually a really good album. I love it.
Nice.
I love this album. It's wonderful.
Cool.
I will come back to it if I feel sad. It's just so happy. I think this track in particular, I'm not entirely sure what language he speaks at times. I think his heritage is of Sierra Leone.
Okay.
Although he did pass in Lewisham. So, Globetrotter. Because I think he's been all over, actually. Or did go all over. He was signed, obviously, when you look at that album and you see the multicoloured strips down the side, that's a Real World album, which is Peter Gabriel's label. Yeah. Which is another reason why I was like, I've got to listen to this. If Peter Gabriel gives him a seal of approval, he must be good. And he is. He's really good. It's a really good album. I struggle with people comparing things. Like when the most famous example I can think of is when I saw a comment on the Paranoid Android music video and they said, this is Radiohead's Bohemian Rhapsody. I was like, okay, but it's also their Paranoid Android, that's cool. And so I don't know whether to go, oh, that's sweet, and chuckle, or to go, well, he's just himself. When I see a couple of people say I've seen people say he's the African Nick Drake. Which, that's, gives me a laugh. Fun. But also at the same time, he seemed to be leagues happier than Nick Drake ever seemed to be. It's just such a nice album. The Fred Happy arc is on, man. I'm telling you. Maybe I've finally got bored of just listening to stuff that makes me go, oh, this is so real, man. This is me. But maybe if I listen to this and go, maybe this could be me. What's stopping me from being this happy? When he goes, sisters and brothers, hallelujah, amen, he's just saying, be happy, man. Be grateful for what you've got. I have told people some of the lyrics, and I think they have laughed in a way that makes me think they think it's out of touch. Okay. Because there is a bit of like a spoken bridge where he goes, to all the refugees, and he basically goes, be grateful you're alive. And I think I understand why some people might listen to that and go, yeah, but brother, they got nothing else. They're allowed to be a bit upset. But the message is true and it's pure, as is the whole album. His guitar work is genuinely exceptional, actually. It's really impressive.
That's something I noticed on this. Yeah, the guitar work is very nice. Yeah.
Really clean as well. Listen to it, man. I've given you music from Israel. I've given you an artist originally from Sierra Leone. I've gone international. Yeah. I think my international music for this game stops at this point, though. Actually, or does it?
Oh. Anyway. Be remiss for thinking this was a country round, but...
Well, to be fair. But a point for the genre.
Thank you.
And
I
let
appreciate
S.E.Rogie's
that.
blessings wash over you.
Yeah, thank you. Does this mean that we are to expect an S.E.Rogie feature in Music of the Week soon? So
Absolutely. Absolutely you
very
are.
Nice.
The world needs to know about happy S.E.Rogie music, man. The world needs to know.
Absolutely.
So, we come to Chris, number 8. And it's someone making a second appearance. As I guess, for the second time, George Calanton. Because I didn't know what name to put. And when I don't know what name to put and it sounds a bit, electronic. Spacey, yeah, that's good. I put George Calanton. Around Yourself, 2015, Synthwave. I'll leave it there.
Yeah. I'll give you...
Be Cruel.
I'll give you a point for the genre.
Ooh, okay. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Sure?
I think I know what synthwave is, but I don't think other people think I'm right.
Oh.
It's by a musician called Washed Out.
Okay. Again, when I don't recognise the name, it does make me feel better.
The track is called Feel It All Around.
Double chill wave.
You were sort of close. So maybe you can see the title and the genre matching up to
fair
give you a
enough.
point.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, chill wave again. I thought, well, to be fair, it was mainly because there wasn't a lot of music coming to me for this game in terms of what I've been listening to recently that isn't just going to be easy for you.
Okay, fair enough.
And so this is one which I've sort of mainly come back to because I first heard it quite a long time ago. But yeah, it's chill wave. So I put / dream pop if you wanted a more different term. 2009.
Yeah. Wow.
Now, I think a lot of people speak about this as if it's like an inception point of chill wave, and to some extent vaporwave as well. They point this to being, as I say, an inception point. I feel like it's more chill wavy because a lot of vaporwave doesn't have like lyrics to it.
Okay.
Whereas chill wave, well, you've got Neon Indian, some old Toro y Moi stuff,
okay.
George Calanton.
Toro y Moi, wow.
Yeah, it's basically all a sample.
Oh.
All the stuff that you hear is a sample.
Okay.
And then I think, I don't think there's any synths in it. But he has made like a vocal pad out of his voice.
Okay.
That at bits where you're not hearing him sing, you can hear sort of in the very far reaches of your ears, making it very wide, that big hefty chill wave.
Okay, sure. Okay, I'm with you.
Which is cool and interesting. He still makes stuff.
Yes.
He still does quite a lot of stuff, and I'm yet to really dive deep into it. I just know that this is his most popular one because I think it was quite popular back when he put it out.
It's off his debut EP.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a vibe. It's chill. Chill wave is a vibe generally.
It has the word chill and wave in it. What more do you expect?
Yeah. I don't have too much more to say. I was going to say I did mention Toro y Moi, and that was I guess that was my inception point into chill wave.
Sure.
I liked his album Boo Boo a fair bit. Grim name for an album.
Yeah.
Now that I'm saying it, I'm like, oh. But there were some tracks off of that I liked. I think a lot of people consider that chill wave, but again, it's not a lauded album. So I'm sort of like, well, where are people looking when they speak about these, these chill wave albums? It's nice to be exploring it, but it's nice to explore a genre that you want to and haven't much before. Listening, I think if you get anything from this game, know that listening to music is fun, and you should find it fun.
If you get anything from this whole idea, this whole concept, any podcast we ever do, music is good. Yeah. Enjoy music.
Yeah. Chris doesn't have anything to say about his song, so he just speaks about why you should listen to music. One point I think I said. Yeah.
I will take that 1 point with kindness. Yes, thank you.
No worries. remind myself which one this was, because I've put down an artist's name.
Sure.
Okay, yes. I don't totally remember. This is a musician you've put before that I've never listened to.
Okay.
Because I think this could be something completely random. It sounds dreamcore-y, actually. And that's cool. I don't think this musician has looked at that sound before. I'm basing that based off of, I think you've maybe used one or two extracts by them. A musician called Supreme Particles. I said it was called Floating. Just a random guess. It sounds like you're floating when you're listening to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I put ambient / electronic, bit of a cop out, really. And then 2019.
I'll give you 2 points because I'm going to be polite to the cop out.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I hope you remember this kindness. So this is an artist called Instupendo. It's a track called Comfort Chain. 2017. 2017. I have written down tempo, but I've also written dreamcore.
That's fair.
Which isn't a genre I think is a recognised thing, but I like it for reasons. Not only is it currently the Fred Happy arc, so far this is a year of Fred enjoying internet aesthetics. I'm all over them, man. I'm all, because of the nostalgia. Just takes me somewhere. Takes me away from the law revision. Takes me away from the realities of Trent leaving Liverpool, stuff like this. Brings me peace. Lets the imagination run free. Anything that makes me feel creative and makes me feel like I'm imagining something, makes me feel like I'm somewhere else, I'm into it.
Okay.
Dreamcore, man. I love this idea. I love the images that come out of it. They're creepy, they're nostalgic, they're off-putting, they're eerie.
It's interesting.
But there's also comfort in there at the same time. It's such an interesting feeling that they evoke. This is probably one of the most popular tracks used for these compilations of pictures on social media and stuff.
Okay.
It is a very early feature in the playlist I curated. And it's debatably my favourite out of anything in there. I think it's great. I think it sounds so nice. And it does. I don't need the images. I can just listen to this and I'm somewhere else. This music that has this strange temporal quality, that just has this ability to just pick you up and you're hanging somewhere else is special. I like your Supreme Particles choice. So I think that kind of is like that as well.
Okay.
The way it creates a soundscape, you know. I don't have much more else to say about this other than I very much like the aesthetic, and I don't really want to say much more about this because I feel like I'm spoiling something we may do in the future. So I'll leave it there and say 2 points.
That's fair. Thank you. Yeah. I think it was down tempo that I noticed more because I don't think I've really ever understood totally what down tempo is, but the more music I listen to that's called down tempo, I sort of understand it a bit more. It's sort of like chill, at least inspired by sort of like 90s, early 2000s electronic music, I guess.
Just a mellowness to it.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Speaking of electronic music, I am scared of this one. I'll level with you.
Okay.
I'm just going to take a second, actually. I'm just going to listen back to it.
You're
I'm not going to
scared
change
of
my
getting it
answer. It's gorgeous. It is gorgeous music, gorgeous electronic music that I'm certain I recognise. We have a friend called Tom, as in the one who doesn't have a studio.
Yeah.
And he has been telepath posting on his Instagram story.
Okay.
I don't think this is telepath. No one I know is more telepath pilled than me. I'm so telepath pilled. And I think if anyone actually wants to get more telepath pilled than me, that is an act of torture instead of enjoyment, because there is so much telepath music.
Yeah.
You will have to go through Mukayate, I think, which is how you pronounce it, like I did, which is that 53-minute long song that is the same sample over and over again. I listened to that about 2 years ago. I can still hum you the melody. it will never leave my brain. So it does what it's meant to do, but goodness me, is that a long time. I have gone for another electronic musician. that I quite like. Why is it playing? Why is your extract playing? I told it to stop playing. Not that it's a bad thing. It sounds very nice.
It is a beautiful one, isn't it?
I have gone for Windows 96.
Oh, okay.
Oh dear. I said Dawn. I said 2017 Vaporwave / Ambient. It could be Telepath. I've listened to so much. I don't blame myself if I've forgotten something.
Yeah.
It could be Hong Kong Express. It could be Hallmark 87. It could be.
Yeah.
I don't know.
87's
There are so many options. I don't know.
Yeah. There's a few it could be. So don't, kick yourself for not getting it. Although I was very amused when you were speaking about being Telepath pilled extensively. This is Telepath.
Which one is it, man?
This is like his biggest, most lauded one, as in the album.
Oh, it's the one of the lady floating, isn't it? Yeah. See, I know them.
Which I think people translate to Interstellar Intercourse, which is an interesting title.
Yes, please.
And this track, it's all in, I think it's Japanese. Although I can't really tell. I think it's Japanese. I'll put it in Google Translate. Google Translate will tell me. Japanese, yeah, there you go.
It is
Before I say something
I'm not
racist.
going to say anything. I'll wait for you to talk about it. It's not my go.
The track loosely translates to Late Night Love, which is...
I guess the same thing.
I understand the guy doesn't want to be associated with Vaporwave much, but when you call it Late Night Love...
what are we
come
meant
on, man.
to
What
think?
am I meant to do? Slush wave is the specific term.
It is slushy.
Yeah, it's very turgid and sort of washy.
I do enjoy slush wave, I can't lie.
Yeah,
I
it's some
enjoy
cool stuff, yeah. I put ambient as well, in case you fancied that. 2015, so yeah, I think you get 2 points for that.
Should be three.
You said it yourself, Telepath has a lot of music, so don't blame yourself for not recognising something of his. I think I'd mentioned wanting to get into Telepath a bit more.
Welcome.
Because he's someone that you've listened to a lot, and I'm into this, I was going to say Vaporwave, but again, if he heard me saying that, he'd be very frustrated.
Yes, true. But brother, it is like...
Yeah. Even if you help contribute to that sort of vibe and that scene, you can't be annoyed at people associating you with it. I'd been into vaporwavy sort of stuff since school, and I suppose I'd never really delved into the ones who are properly acclaimed beyond vaporwave, like seen as really appreciated as artists in their own.
This guy's a big boy. He's a big boy.
Yeah, maybe except for St. Pepsi, I guess.
Yeah,
but
I think Pepsi's king outright of vaporwave, probably. If you're maybe if you're looking at vaporwave on its own,
yeah,
or George Clanton, maybe.
I think it's all debatable. There's different ways of looking at it. But yeah, no, I listened to, because it's a 2 hour long album, isn't it? All of his albums are
pretty
massive.
Long. Yeah.
You're listening to a 4 minute track and it feels like an interlude.
Yeah,
it's weird.
The Idiotwin effect.
But I listened to this while I was doing some work. Yeah, I have a job. Look at me.
Raking it in.
Living the life. Yeah, and it's this sort of ambient stuff that you can put on in the background and not have to focus on. The fact that this is a 14-minute song, and sort of as you've said, it's just this loop, and sometimes he brings in different sounds, and they come out. Like it's not exactly the same thing all the way through, but it's not doing enough for you to keep focus on it the whole way throughout. Yeah, which is not asking you to, in fairness. No. So it's good to put it on in scenarios where you don't have to focus on it. So that's what I did, and I enjoyed it. It's something I listened to recently, and it's a good album, and it's a gorgeous track. Yes, absolutely gorgeous. So yeah, I'll leave what I'm going to say there, and you can have 2 points.
Thank you. I'm just checking my album rankings. I want to say this is Maybe my third favourite Telepath album.
Interesting.
But I obviously haven't been back to it in quite a while. I think it would take me... Maybe, actually, no, you know what? I think it would take me this to come back to Telepath.
Yeah.
I think I was quite hesitant because of how long some of the stuff is. But at the same time, hearing that bit again has made me go, no, but I do enjoy almost all of it. He's very good at what he does.
Yeah, he is.
And I've just spoken quite a lot in my last one about music that takes you somewhere else. I mean, come on. Good choice, Chris.
Thank you.
Are you going to do more Telepath?
If I find...
The time?
Yeah, if I find mediums in which to, yeah.
Okay.
Because it's perfect background music for doing something else.
Yes.
Because you can get to the end of it and not have sort of focused on it, but know what it's doing and sort of understand the song.
Yes.
By the time it's finished, which is cool. This was one I struggled with, your number 9. I wasn't really sure where to go with it. I've put post-hardcore as a genre, but I don't really think I don't really think it is post-hardcore. It's a bit sort of like, I don't really know what it is. Maybe it is. You can tell me it's not. And I think my mind got stuck in that zone, so it put a post-hardcore band to it. It definitely isn't.
Okay.
But it was one of the only ones that I could think of that wasn't like Fugazi, and it's just definitely not this sort of music. So I put a band called Refuse that I've used before. I thought it was called Total Football. A little bit like when you used that White Screen song, and I mistook it for saying I should be Bob Marley. So I thought it would be funny
it was
to.
in Yiddish.
Yeah, I thought. I mean, this is probably in a different language as well, but I thought it was quite funny to pay tribute to the Dutch football teams of old and reference Total Football. Shout out Johan Cruyff. He doesn't need shouting out on the Idiot Twin podcast. You all know who he is.
You should do.
Post-hardcore, alt rock. Hopefully, should be okay. 2001. A little bit dodgy with the dates here.
I think what's even more amusing than you saying like how much you found entertainment in going, yeah, I just thought, Total Football, haha, like Dutch people, is how accurate that is.
Okay.
1 point for the title.
Wow, really?
And also, if I could give bonus points for getting part of the context of the song, you'd get that as well.
That's amazing.
Because part of the inspiration is, it's not just Total Football, it's because they like football, these guys.
Yeah.
Or at least the lead singer does. And it comes from this Johan Cruyff Dutch mentality.
Yeah.
Which I'll get into. This is Parquet Chords.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
this
cool.
Is it their newest album? Have they released anything since?
I don't know.
But it's the Wide Awake one that received a lot of acclaim.
Yeah, it's just the one with like the people on the cover.
Yeah, like
and
dancing.
Like the hands.
Yeah, the weird people
sick.
dancing.
I didn't know this was what they sounded like.
They sound good. This album's really good.
Okay.
It's a really good album. It is the closest thing. My father disagrees with me, so take this with a pinch of salt, because if he knows this band, if anyone knows this band, it's him.
Oh, really?
What I'm about to say.
Okay.
This, for me, is the closest thing to the Stranglers that isn't the Stranglers, this album.
I see.
And Dad did listen to some of it, and he kind of just went, no, I disagree. And I went, well,
that's
all right,
interesting.
fair enough. But, yeah, it's a really high-energy, fun album. This is Parquet Courts, Total Football, 2018. I said art punk, dance punk, post-punk, all the kinds of punk, and then a bit
punky.
of new wave in there.
Yeah, of course it's punky. Why don't I say that?
This song is just amazing, man. It's the opening track, and it's one of these. The way I always put it to you is when I'm listening to an album, and the way I know it's going to be a good one is that within like a minute or 2 minutes, my reaction is, "Oh no, oh no, this is." And as this track was happening, I did go, "Oh, okay, hang on." I think the point of the track is it's a political one.
Okay.
It starts with this inspiration of Total Football, Johan Cruyff, the Netherlands, of, no individual is stronger than the team.
Okay.
The team must work together, play different roles, help each other out, work for one another.
Yeah.
And I think the point of the song is, if people from different occupations and different walks of life were to come together and abandon their differences, political change might happen, I think is the point it's making. So which is why, if I can find the lyrics of that section, you get the band quoting or referencing all these different individuals and different groups. You get, I mean, earlier on you get rebels, teachers, strikers, sweepers, better protected whenever collected. And then you get this bit. Twombly total football. I think there's references to like civil rights activists and protest groups and things.
Okay.
Twombly total football, Tsara total football, Mina total football, Panthers, I presume the Black Panthers, total football, Cobra total football, and then you get the art movement, Dada total football, and then you get Beatles total football.
There you go.
So it's, whoever you are, whatever job you have, come together, fight the power, is basically the message.
I see, okay.
Total football, no individual is greater than the team.
Yes.
Which I think is clever.
Yeah.
And it just so happens that it's a great song as well. And I think there's a bit of humour in it as well. Because you go through this whole song, and if you listen to the words, well, it sounds intense at times. And then you listen to the words, you're like, yeah, this is potent, this is political. And then you get right at the end, and he says a certain thing I'm not going to repeat. Feel free to look up the lyrics yourself. But the very last lyric, you kind of, on paper it's funny, but in context it does make you chuckle the first time you hear it. There's a bit of humour there as well, which...
Okay.
Listen to this album. It's good. Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah.
1 point for the title.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been one that I've known since it came out because it was quite popular when it came out. I remember seeing it in a lot of circles, but I've just never gotten around to it. So yeah, thank you. I mean, a little bit like what you said with Telepath, this might, inspire me to actually get around to
Possibly.
it. Go deeper, which is awesome.
I'm not going to force you to. You make your own call. So, I know for a fact the artist I put here is not the correct answer.
Okay.
The reason being, and you'll be very impressed with me, is that I've listened to 2 of their albums and I might be satisfied to call it a day there, as I've been working through my list. That artist is Clairo, which, if you want, I can talk to you about later. I don't know. It's not her. This does not sound like her. But I was very frustrated when trying to answer this because it's a female voice. I just didn't know which female voice it was. I just couldn't put my finger on it. I think they said Man of Mine, maybe.
Oh, okay.
2017, I put lounge, bossa nova, bedroom pop, indie rock.
You're covering your bases there, my friend.
Well, no, because it's like it's got the indie rockness, but there's like something of a rhythm in there.
Yeah, there's other stuff going on. Yeah.
I mean, if you think I've been too wide, please don't. Mark accordingly.
If anything, it's more akin to this band, really.
Okay. Okay. Well, I knew it wasn't Claire. I don't know why I'm disappointed. But...
I used this band last time.
Oh dear. No, still don't know. Don't help.
Yola Tengo.
And why I'm not disappointed is because I still have very little framework of how to assess them. So I'm not disappointed.
Okay. Yeah, this is just, it's off the same album as the one I used last time. I think I used their song, Let's Save Tony Orlando's House.
Was it a female singer last time?
Yeah, yeah.
Is it always a female singer?
Most of it is a male singer.
Okay.
I think his name's Ira. It's a Hebrew name, I think.
Okay.
His name, Ira. He sings a lot of it. And I think I did mention last time that Georgia, who's a lady in the band, her voice is gorgeous.
And she should sing more.
And I remember saying, even if Ira does write a lot of the songs, why can't you just let Georgia sing them, man? Like, her voice is so good. She deserves to be the lead singer, I'd say. But anyways, yeah, this track is called Madeline, spelt
Madeline.
spelt if you were to combine the words maid and line together. Man of Mine. Indie rock, indie pop, the things I put 2000s when it came out. It's off of and then Nothing Turned Itself Inside Out, I think is the name of it. I love the cover for it. It's very cool. Let's have a look. But yeah, it's also the same one that the one I used before is off of. Yeah, I mean, it's the last song. We usually say a lot of stuff about it. I don't have much to say about it.
That is a nice cover. Sorry, that is a nice
album. It is a really good cover, isn't it? Yeah, I don't have too much to provide. It's just one that I liked quite a bit off of the album as well. I taught myself how to play the guitar riff from it.
Sweet, nice.
Because it's really, really pretty guitar riff. It's not too difficult either. And it's, it has like different style of playing throughout. I think Ira Kaplan's a very clever guitarist in that sense. He's able to just change how he's playing to suit the song. Very clever guitarist, and I think it's, from what I understand more, is that I've listened to one other album of theirs, Painful.
Yes.
It's earlier in their discography, and their earlier stuff I gauge more to be a lot heavier.
Okay.
Well, not a lot heavier, but just heavier in general. I mean, you listen to something like this, as well as Tony Orlando's House, and it's sort of just rocky.
Okay.
And a lot of this album is sparser and chiller.
Wave?
Not chill wave. But,
who knows what that is anymore?
It's let me think of what I'm going to say. After this, there's still a lot more Yo La Tengo I want to get into. They're still.
I didn't realise I had that many albums.
They have loads and loads of albums. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to get into them a bit more. I like their music. I'm padding for no reason whatsoever. Yeah. For some reason, in the back of my mind, I'm going, there was something you were going to say, but I just can't think of what that is.
There might not be.
And I don't think there was anything. I think their stuff is cool. I would implore you to listen to even just a bit of it. Even if you go through and listen to some of the tracks in full that I've shown you, it's, you might find you like it. Yeah, I'll give you a point for the genre because sort of as I was saying, their genre is generally indie rock, but they're very wide within indie rock.
Okay.
Catching from a lot of different inspirations.
I'll take that. Thank you.
No worries. Slowly growing on me as well. I think when I first listened to both of them, I thought they're nice, but not massively enthralled by it. Slowly growing. So that's cool. All right. Your last one. An interesting one.
Okay, interesting's good.
I've played an interesting card again. I don't know why it sounds almost sort of Japanese, if that makes sense. It's sort of like, I don't know, reminds me of some Cassiopeia stuff, some like Japanese jazz fusion, sort of inspired. And I've put J electronic as a genre, just because, mainly because I think it's funny. I'm not putting that there. Now here's the thing. It could be. I don't think it's Hiroshi Yoshimura. It could be. I'm not going to change it, even if you do look at me that way.
It's not Hiroshi Yoshimura. I'm having you on.
Yeah, I think what was interesting about Hiroshi Yoshimura is that he doesn't sound. I was going to say he doesn't sound Japanese, which definitely isn't the right thing to say.
Put it in the comp.
But his music is like, it's not. It doesn't take from jazz fusion. I think it's Japanese jazz fusion at least. Like a lot of other Japanese musicians and composers do. Like, maybe arguably this guy. I've put Koji Kondo, just because he made a lot of the Mari music, and I don't necessarily think it's him. I just think it's nice to shoehorn him in. So it's called Plaza. Maybe there's a little bit of Delfino Plaza inspired in there, maybe. Video game music. It felt like it's from a video game, but, feel free to turn around and tell me that it's not, and it is just some easygoing normal music. And then 1998 was the year I could be up. I mean, with electronic stuff, I'm always very, far off it. So, yeah.
No, I thought you'd put me in quite an awkward position because I thought it was going to be down to whether I give you a point for J electronic. But
there we go.
I'm just checking. It is video game music.
Cool.
Yeah, it is. So that's 1 point.
Just about.
You miss out on the year on a technicality because this is made after the century.
I see. Okay.
And so you're not in the 3-year range instead of the 5, unfortunately.
It's okay.
This is by a man called Takeshi Abo. I'm not sure. It's called Lease, 2002. Now, you familiar with that term in front of lounge for the genre?
Frutigero. No.
Welcome to the year of the Fred Loves Internet Aesthetic chat once again. So, Frutigero is how I'm pronouncing it. I love Dreamcore, that's cool, but this is the new one this one is, you've had your Vaporwave boom, Dreamcore, it's still going on. I think none of them go away, it's just another one joins the popularity. This is the newest one to join on the internet. This is kind of everywhere now. Do you remember a time when you were younger, you had early versions of Microsoft Windows and all screensavers and adverts and everything, it was all about splashes of water and fresh cut fruit and dolphins and futuristic cityscapes and stuff. Do you remember this kind of aesthetic?
I think so.
I'll show you some pictures afterwards that will make sense. The common joke with this stuff is all the comments on the music and the pictures or whatever are always, this is the future they promised us, kind of thing. Because it is just peace and it's clean and it's fresh and the sun's always shining and the water looks like the most refreshing thing you ever touch or drink in your life. And the buildings look well made and shiny and colourful. It looks like you're constantly on holiday by the beach, kind of thing.
Okay.
Which is nice. I don't really like the beach, but the way these pictures look, you want to live in them, man.
Yeah.
And this is there are certain bits of music, like with the Dreamcore and any other aesthetic that people come to. This is the granddaddy, it would appear. You may have noticed with your producer ear, or maybe you didn't, I'm not sure, that the popular version is the actual song, it's the one I've given you, but bit crushed.
Right. I did. It did sound a bit crushed. Yeah.
And so I don't know why. I think people say this version is more nostalgic. Apparently, I don't know what there's got to be a psychologist that can explain that.
I think it's how I hear. If you hear music in video games, especially older ones, the music that's in the game doesn't sound like the music maybe that has been released separately.
Okay.
And I think it's just because of limitations. They had to take out some of the data in the music so that it could exist in the game. And a part of that, unfortunately, is it makes it sound a bit crushed.
Well, I think people have done this on purpose.
That makes sense as well.
But your logic is
So it might feed into
I see what you mean. Okay, cool.
So people
nice.
are taking the aesthetic and going, it's the new slow and reverb.
Maybe that's I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. That's good. No, so the Dreamcore one is the thoughtful aesthetic. If you want to feel thoughtful, you want to feel a bit uncomfortable, but also comforted at the same time. Very weird, but enjoyable. I find. Go down that rabbit hole.
Okay.
If you want to feel clean and refreshed and like you've been promised a future that is constantly sunny and nothing would ever go wrong, Frutigero. That's what you want. Both are brilliant. I will take both at the same time. Thank you very much. Maybe I'm not going to say that because spoilers. We'll get to that soon.
Okay.
But I like this piece. It's only about a minute and a half. It's so chill. It's so chill. It's all about pictures of fish swimming in the ocean and stuff like that. It's makes me feel like I'm on holiday. It's wonderful. I'll give you 1 point.
Thank you
for your very, very wise video game music, Paul. That even caught me off guard, and I chose the thing. So well done.
What video game was it used in?
I will tell you. It's the soundtrack for. Well, I don't know if it's the album or the game called My Merry Way. He is Japanese. So maybe it's a Japanese game that we just don't know about.
Maybe, yeah.
I'll look it up very quickly. Maybe. I'll do this as quickly as I can.
It's interesting, though.
Merry Way.
Yeah. It sort of has that sort of interesting aesthetic, I suppose. I'd never heard of Frutigero.
Look it up. You will not be disappointed.
Okay.
I'm telling you, it's so calming. It's so lovely. And my favourite part of it is in the same way that with Dreamcore and Weirdcore people find new liminal spaces and go, oh, this is actually a real place. I prefer it with Frutigero because it's when people just stumble upon, they book a hotel somewhere and they're like, why is the lobby in this place like nice? Why is it reminding me of this? And you look at it and go, yeah, it's like spas and hotels and stuff. It's like, I want to be there. That looks nice. The liminal space, you go, it's cool to look at, but I don't want to be there. I would be uncomfortable if I was there. Apparently, I think it was a visual novel.
Okay.
So maybe it was turned into a game?
Maybe, yeah.
Because there's no article on it or anything. It's just like Reddit discussions and stuff. I don't know. But 1 point, yes.
Thank you. Thank you very much. All right.
So,
counting time.
The tallying time. Chris and I, as always, we will add up our scores. We will see who's won. Not that it's about the winning. We both discovered some cool music today, as always. Okay.
I've got to remember that we don't have a fifth round, so if it is a little bit lower, that's why.
Okay, let me just double check. Okay, cool. Be interested to know what the best score one of us has ever got on percentage is.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that would be the best reflection. Like, how many of the total points did you get? Back in the days when we used to do it with a group, and there was a fun fact round, and that was basically a cop-out to a bonus point. If you could just say anything, didn't have to be fun. Sometimes didn't have to be a fact. Just be an opinion. And they'd go, yeah, I like that. Bonus point.
Yeah, just a bit of fun.
We were wet back then.
No, we're allowed to have fun. We just take it more seriously because people are listening to us.
Yeah. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. Boop.
Wow.
Oh,
you got a lot more than me.
I had a feeling we would be level, to be honest. I thought we were going to have one of those rare tie games.
Yeah.
Rare tied game.
Rare tie games as opposed to rare melee games, maybe.
Well, I was going to say, like, we've done 20 extracts just of music from Thailand.
It would be rare.
It's so rare it hasn't happened ever. Well played.
Good game, yeah. Good game. I got 15.
I should say I got 19. And you're probably thinking, the more, mathematically inclined of you are probably going, but that game was out of 40. Those are both quite bad scores. And the answer is no. Yes. No. A bad score is like single digits. That's when you go, whoopsie. Anything more than that, you've done quite well. If you get over 50%, then you're in an elite score.
Yeah. Technically, it's a very hard game.
It is, yeah. Let me put it like this. How much music exists? That should give you an idea of why the scores aren't always that high. Yeah. But no, I really enjoyed this one.
It was really fun, yeah.
It was nice to play without limit for once.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Being nice and free.
But don't worry, we will restrict ourselves once again for the next one. We'll find a way to do it.
Absolutely.
Because we can't be unrestricted for 2 games in a row. That's too much. Closing statements.
Listen to the music we've suggested.
Yes.
And apart from that, enjoy the album. Hopefully we'll see you at the gig soon.
That'd be lovely.
Yeah.
I agree with everything you said. Listen to the music we have played today. Give us your thoughts. If you have any thoughts about the whiteboard game, do you like it? Are there things you'd like to see differently with it, or hear differently with it, rather? Let us know. Would you like to feature on the whiteboard game? We'll try and figure it out. Let us know if you're really desperate. We'll try and make it work. Listen to the LP. We're very proud of it. We think it's good. If you have already listened to it, listen to it again. Tell us what you like. Tell us what maybe you don't like. We don't care. Feedback's good feedback. Be constructive with it. Yes, we do hope to see you at a gig soon. We hope to see you on social media. We're always there. We post very regularly. And we'll see you at the next one of these, I suppose. Don't know what it will be yet, but there'll be one. Mm-hmm. I'm enjoying Series 2. Series 2 is going well.
Yeah, it's going good.
And as always, we will close off with what we close off with every time, which is that, emphasised by the fact we are a quarter into Series 2, I suppose, about that.
Yeah.
It does continue the game.
Whiteboard game. Forever.